What is up, herd? Here's your girl, Haunted Heifer, and today we have our very first episode of Ghost Stories with Haunted Heifer. We have our guest, JD, who is actually part of Haunted Heifer Paranormal. So he's going to be our first guest on this first episode. Let's bring him in. Hello, JD.
Hello.
Here you have a awesome story about a camp that you visited when you were younger.
Yes, I do.
What's the name of that camp?
It's Camp Schmidt.
Camp Schmidt. And where is that?
That is in Maryland. Can't remember the exact city.
Okay. How old were you whenever you visited there?
I must have been around somewhere between 8 and 10.
8 and 10? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember why you were at that camp? Is it a specific type of camp?
It was just supposed to be like a fall, like field trip type deal.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm jealous. I always wanted to go to camps whenever I was younger, but my parents never sent me, so that's really cool. All right, well, and do you know if that camp's not open, right?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. Do you think that any of our viewers who may be investigators could visit there, or would that be trespassing? Do you know if it's owned by anyone, or is it just abandoned?
It used to be owned by someone, but like I said, when it closed, I think they just left it. 2 pictures, the one building that I've seen there, they destroyed that.
Oh, the one that's torn down.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and
So they just got rid of it and left it.
there were 2 pictures of it torn down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then for the viewers that are also investigators, if you know where this is at, investigate at your own risk. We do not know if you will be in violation of any trespassing, so do not pin that on us. All right, JD, let's jump into your story and tell us all about what happened.
All right. So we left the school. Everything was fine. And then we pull up to the gate to enter this campsite. And as soon as we got to it, it just got dark and started raining like crazy. And to get to the actual campgrounds, you have to drive through the woods on a dirt trail.
Oh.
And
seems kind of sketchy.
Yeah,
as a kid, I'd be like, what is this?
It really was. And so we get to the camp, and there's one cabin for the boys and one for the girls. So we unpack everything, and the teachers were like, okay, time to go for lunch. And to get to the cafeteria, you have to walk through even more woods on a trail. I sent you a couple pictures of what that looked like as well.
So were there just a bunch of buildings that weren't connected, so you'd have to walk from one building to another? A lot of it was outdoor travel. Okay.
Yeah, there was only 2 cabins and the 1 cafeteria, and then the plantation home. Those were the only buildings in that whole area.
Oh, wow.
So we get to the cafeteria, and then we eat and we leave, and it's still slightly raining, but the denseness of the woods made it look like it was nighttime. So we're walking through the woods again, and then this kid who was the known bully of the grade I was in, he's like, there's something following us, and everybody's like, yeah, whatever, because we're like, oh, it's the bully saying this, he's probably just trying to scare us. So I look, but there was an orange ball of light floating through the trees beside us, and it wasn't like a flashlight or an orb, it was just like like it had mass to it, but it didn't at the same time.
Do you think that that was like a spirit, or do you think like maybe it was like a lantern from a spirit that, you know, it could be holding?
Yeah, it looks like a lantern. Like,
Okay.
it looks like the flame from a lantern. It had that kind of glow to it, but there was nothing around it.
That's so weird.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's odd.
And it was like, if you could imagine how the lantern would be like swaying back and forth while somebody's walking holding it, that's how it was moving.
Okay, so that's exactly what you were thinking it was. It's like a lantern. So it was bigger than like obviously a firefly could be.
Yeah.
But okay. How far away was it from you? Do you remember?
It was like right beside us. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, like not even 4 feet away from us.
Wow.
And it wasn't illuminating anything as it was moving. It was
Huh.
like its own source of light, but it wasn't touching anything.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that would be kind of freaky. And did you believe in ghosts then?
No, I did not.
Okay. Do you think was there anything? Have you done any research like on the history of that land? Like, was there settlers there? Was there Indians there? Do you know of any history on that land?
Well, from what I've researched and what like the teachers and the camp people were telling us, like they were just telling us like exaggerated ghost stories.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've researched, the only thing that they told us that was true was that that land was a plantation.
Oh.
But they were like, this guy was crazy and this and that. But
Oh.
it was like, no, this guy by another name did own that place,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what happened next? So y'all are walking through. You see this ball light. What
Mhm.
happens?
So we get back, and then we go to watch a movie, and the bully, he's like, there's something outside watching us again, and this time everybody's like, okay, now we're gonna look. And it was that same ball of light from before, like the same color, the same shape and everything, and it was moving back and forth through the woods that was like off in the distance, because between the building we were in and the woods, it was like a giant clearing. So then there was that. And it was really creepy because that time when everybody saw it, like everybody got quiet. And everybody got this feeling like there's somebody out there. Like there's somebody walking through the woods. Even though you couldn't see anybody, like it just gave you that feeling.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy. I don't know how I would feel at that age, not really
It was
knowing.
terrifying.
Yeah, I'm like, because at that age, you're still kind of, I'm going to use the word brainwashed to believe that the world's perfect. There's nothing, paranormal out there. I mean, everyone's raised differently. But yeah, at that age, I did know about ghosts just because of my aunt and hearing her stories. But I think I would be terrified. I'd be terrified.
Yeah, from what I can remember, the only reason I was scared was because, like, seeing something that wasn't normal isn't what scared me. It was the feeling that it just gave me the feeling that there was somebody there. That was what scared me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, at that age, I'm like, I see this, and I feel like there's supposed to be a person with that, but there's not.
Wow.
So it was like scary and confusing to me.
Yeah, I could understand that. Okay, so what did anyone say anything? What happened after that?
No, when we all saw it, like everybody just got quiet, and we watched it for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then it faded away.
Wow. Okay. No one really spoke about it. Y'all just kind of went on about your business, huh? pretend like it didn't happen.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
And then that night, everybody's in their cabins because, like, it's time to go to bed. And I remember I was starting to fall asleep, and I felt like I kind of jumped, but it wasn't like, you know, when you're tired and then your body like jumps because you feel like you're falling? It
Yep.
wasn't that. I felt the bunk bed like somebody hit it. And then that woke me up. And then I'm like, okay, the bunk bed is actually moving and it feels like somebody's like really shaking it. Not like the person above me is like moving around. Like it felt like somebody was holding it and shaking it like, hey, wake up, get out of here.
Oh, wow.
That
You're on the bottom bunk.
terrified me.
Yeah. To be woke up, period. Like, yeah, that's intense.
Mhm.
Was there somebody on the top bunk?
Yeah.
Did they wake up too?
Yeah, I called his name and he was like, shut up. Like, be quiet. I was like, are you doing that? And then he didn't answer. So I was like, okay, we're just gonna be quiet and hope this stops. And then eventually it did stop. And the next morning, like some of the boys were like, I didn't see this, but I guess that's because I had a different part of the cabin. But some of the boys were like, we saw a woman walk outside of the cabin. And then some of the girls came over and they were like, were you pranking us? And we were like, no, why? And they were like, because we saw a man standing in our window. Like an old man.
Oh, wow.
And I'm getting the chills thinking about it. Like it was really creepy.
Yeah, I've got chills. Holy crap.
And so like that was just weird. And so the teachers were like, I guess the teachers really weren't in on it because they were like, you need to stop like trying to scare each other or you're gonna be in trouble. And so we're just like, okay, maybe it was whatever. We're gonna stop talking about it. And so we go on a hayride because like they're taking us to like see the plantation, like where the main house was.
Mm-hmm.
And so we approached that and I sent you 2 pictures of like what it looked like. We're riding past that, and then the bully's like, there's somebody staring at me. And at this point, everybody's like, okay, we're gonna look and see like if we see anything. And we look at the house, and there was nobody in the windows, but it felt like somebody was staring at us. And not like a good kind of staring, like, oh, we're just watching you pass by. It was like, it felt like there was somebody looking at you directly.
It was somebody just staring at y'all, like eerie.
Yeah. It wasn't like a pleasant, like, oh, hey. It was like, why are you people, like, who are you people, and why are you, like, on my land? Like, it felt like an angry but curious kind of staring.
Okay. That's,
like,
yeah, that's creepy.
The best way I could describe it is, like, they thought that we could see them. And they expected us to like leave because they could tell the way they were looking at us was like, hey, I don't want you on my land. And like, according to what I can remember the bully said, it was an older looking guy and he looked really angry and really mean. To a point where like the bully that liked making other people cry, he started crying, like bawling his eyes out.
Oh, he got a taste of his own medicine.
Yep.
Which is kind of awesome, but also still creepy because of the situation that you're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so the hayride takes us to where we're going to have the campfire for that night. And like everything's going normal. And the teachers and the camp people, they're telling us these ghost stories about the land, like trying to scare us. And then the two girls beside me who were best friends, but also like the lower level bullies, I guess I could say. Um, they start whispering to each other, and then the one next to me, she like nudges my elbow with hers, and she says, "There's a ghost behind us." And I see who is telling me this, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I turn around, and there's the silhouette of a lady standing at the edge of the woods, looking at us, and she looked like she was, I guess you could say, like she had that vintage, like Victorian look to her,
Mm-hmm.
like the flowing dress and everything, and she looks like an older woman, but not old, like maybe in her 40s or 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And she was standing there looking at us, and she just gave me this look like, her look gave me the chills too, because I was like, okay, she's not supposed to be here, and she's floating there. So I'm like, okay. I turn back to the campfire, and I turn around again, like not even a second later, and she's right above my shoulder, looking down at me. And like, I just start shaking, and I'm like, I'm about to start crying.
Oh my God.
And I turn to the fire again, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna die right now. Because like, there's this thing behind me, and I turn around again, like immediately, and she's gone.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
that's scary.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Whenever you just have something like just the thought of somebody just staring at you already gives you kind of the ick, you know. It doesn't feel great. So also knowing that okay, these are not human, living humans. So yeah, that's terrifying too.
Mm-hmm. So, like, over the years, remembering that, I've been trying to think, like, was it that somebody trolling us, or like, was it something? And I'm like, okay, it wasn't a person because it was floating and you could see through it. So it wasn't like a teacher or one of the camp people or whatever, because that wouldn't be possible. And they didn't have like holograms were, I don't know if they had them back then, but if they did, I know they weren't that good. So it wasn't a
Right?
hologram. And I just, and the how
Who would do
fast
that?
it moves.
I mean, who would do that anyway? Even if there was holograms, then like who would do that to a group of kids? Like it would have had to have been like the camp directors, I would think, and that's just messed up, really.
Hmm.
But yeah, so no, there's no way. That's crazy.
And then how fast it moved. Like, not even 3 seconds between the amount of times I looked back to see her. And so between the campfire and the woods was like a very small path, like that was covered in leaves and sticks and rocks. So I would have heard somebody like run up behind me, but there was no sound.
Hmm.
It was just really weird.
Wow.
Hmm. And that terrified me.
I bet. Yeah, I would.
Um,
I would.
so
I would be shaken.
yeah, and then pretty much we left the next day. Like I think we were supposed to stay. We got there Friday. I think we were supposed to stay till Monday, but we left Sunday because like all of this stuff was like there was too much stuff happening.
Oh wow,
Like they even told our parents we would be staying until Monday, but we had to leave early because there
hmm.
was too much going on.
That's weird. Like
Yep.
that's so weird. So everybody, even the camp people, were like, no, we're not doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, they were like, you guys gotta go.
Do you know if they stayed open for summers after, like, or did they close down soon after, or how much
Um,
longer did they stay open?
they probably stayed open a few more summers after that, but it was like they didn't weren't letting anybody stay overnight. It was like they would just let schools go and visit and like do activities, and then they left.
Huh. That's one heck of an experience for an
Oh yeah, and then one of the teachers' stuff started missing.
Oh, really?
We had to bring our own like camping stuff to like our blankets or sleeping bags, and some of her items just disappeared.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's, I don't know, I'd be interested to see if there's any other stories out there from other people that have experienced things.
Hmm.
There's got to be some kind of like records of who worked there or something. That'd be interesting to talk to some of the teachers that were there,
Yeah.
just get an idea. So after y'all left, then I'm assuming you never went back.
Nope.
Wow, that's crazy. All right. Well, that was an exciting story. Definitely sounds terrifying, especially for an 8 to 10-year-old. It'd be really cool if we could go out there and investigate, obviously, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to follow the rules and find out if somebody owns it. And I mean, you're in Maryland, I'm in Texas, so it's not going to happen tomorrow. But yeah, do some research and see if anyone owns it. See if it's a place that we can actually go and check out without getting a ticket or being arrested. And maybe we could put something together.
Yep. I'll look more into it.
Okay, awesome. Well, again, I appreciate having you and look forward to having you on as a co-host soon.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
I really hope that you enjoyed this episode of Ghost Stories with Haunted Heifer about the haunted Camp Smith. If you have your own paranormal or supernatural encounter that you want to share, email me at hauntedheiferparanormal@gmail.com.